Hello and thanks for joining us on World Now. A global tech disruption has hit airlines, banks, businesses, and even emergency services. The outages appear to stem at least partly from a software update for Microsoft Windows operating systems issued by cybersecurity firm Crowdstrike. CEO of Crowdstrike, George Kurt, says a fix has been deployed. Microsoft also says the underlying cause has been fixed, but that the outages are still affecting some services. We have more in this story.
A large number of global institutions, including major banks, media outlets and airlines earlier today, reported a mass IT outage affecting their ability to offer services. Several airlines have grounded flights around the world and many more reported delays. Supermarkets crippled in Australia and media outlets in several countries have been left scrambling. Sky News in the UK, temporarily forced off air, has now resumed broadcast. The National Health Service of England says the majority of GP surgeries are experiencing issues. Meanwhile, cybersecurity firm Crowdstrike blames the issue with one of its updates for Windows. It says the problem has been identified, isolated, and a fix has been deployed. An official Microsoft 365 service update posted on X earlier in the day said, quote, "We're investigating an issue impacting users' ability to access various Microsoft 365 apps and services," end quote. However, a Microsoft spokesperson told journalists that the majority of services were recovered hours earlier. Travel plans around the globe have also been thrown into disarray, with airlines, taxis, and rail affected. U.S. Airlines, United, Delta, and American Airlines have issued a global ground stop on all of their flights, while Australian carriers Virgin and Jetstar have delayed or cancelled flights. Other airports, including Berlin, Tokyo, and Delhi, are also impacted. Social media users have reported problems making payments at stores like bakery and coffee chain Gills in the UK and grocer Woolworths in Australia, and also trouble accessing financial institutions like the National Australia Bank.
Tech analyst Okwemi Aromi joins me live now from Lagos, Nigeria. For more on this, good to have you join us on World Now. It's quite profound how an IT bug can have such colossal impact globally. What's your take about this IT outage and the corresponding effect the world over?
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon once again. I'm going to say that because many people actually use Crowdstrike. Crowdstrike is the cybersecurity tool. This then affects the organizations, and according to what we are aware of, Crowdstrike has close to 24,000 customers, and these are not individuals. These are organizations with minimum of say 200 customers. And in this kind of situation where there's a downtime or something, a blue screen of death, for instance, that's occurred, everyone is majorly affected. Airlines are unable to book their unable to fly because all the records are now digitally recorded. Hospitals now have EMR, that is the electronic medical records. Everything is now online, and with such a situation like that, then they'll be unable to, prescribe, have histories, medical histories, actually attend to persons, except when it is on emergencies, and then they have to work with what they have to work with at that present moment. Then for every time that there's, a downtime on internet or on IT platforms, there's always loss of income because, for instance, the flights that have been delayed is loss of income. The persons, for everyone, for instance, the transportation sector, trains, taxis that are connected with payment gateways, because I'm aware that some card schemes also actually experience some of these issues. And so payments couldn't go through. Many people had to use cash. And because of the development that we have in the space at the moment, everything is now technologically developed, everything is digitalized. And so for every downtime, there's income loss. aside income loss, the organization involved, because as we're all aware as of now, everybody was very quick to say, oh, it isn't Microsoft, it isn't Visa, it's Crowdstrike, is our cybersecurity tool. And whenever there's such incidents, the cybersecurity tool, for instance, that is meant to actually protect against data breach, against hackers is down, or there's, a bug that has to be fixed.
Right.
At that point, it's very easy for, breaches to occur. And at that point, everyone gets to experience it.
Indeed. And, CrowdStrike says it has actually fixed the erroneous update, but says it could take some time before systems are back up and running. What's the implication of this? Because this looks like some big risk. And, what is the future with AI?
Okay, so yes, it is a risk, considering that it might take some days. As I mentioned earlier, there would be time and money lost for various organizations. It doesn't necessarily mean that the future of AI should go backwards or the future of technology should diminish at any point. It just simply means that, we should all be aware, because as they had mentioned, this was just a mere bug while they were trying to update their systems. So it just means that, for every step we take, we should always be aware, take necessary steps in curtailing errors that may occur, because, for such an important tool, a cybersecurity tool, to avoid hackers, breaches, and all of this, we always have to be security conscious, have contingency plans, and then help in recovery immediately. So for something like this, once there's a downtime like this, it might take days, 2 to 3 days at the minimum. So they are saying that you could restart the system and then have a workaround, but it might take 2 to 3 days for all businesses that have been lost in this period to then come back to it. So yes, it just means and tells us that we are still developing. AI is still a work in progress. It is not perfect. It's always a defect, but we'll just keep working to be better than what we have right now.
And it always a defect. And then importantly, you also spoke about time and money loss. As it stands, the CEO of CrowdStrike, Jude Kurtz, says he's deeply sorry. Oh, yes, quite understood. But does that suffice for the inconveniences that institutions have experienced, or what options are available for people to actually seek justice for the time and money and whatever other things they might have lost?
So, how time can be recovered. Money might still, you can still try to recover money, but time can be recovered. And for CrowdStrike as well, they've experienced reputational damage, because I'm sure their shares might, diminish at this point. It might have a fall. Other people in the event for future clientele or customers will then remember, oh, it was this particular organization that caused this global downtime, and then they might not want to go to them. I know many people might say they've had a loss and then try to pinpoint and try to sue, but at this point, we just have to note that sometimes these things happen. Time can be recovered. For some monies, we just have to make efforts to try to recover. I'm very certain that CrowdStrike is probably experiencing a lot of loss at the moment, aside the reputational damage, also income, their shares, their stocks, and all that. So it works on both sides at this point, to be very honest.
Already their shares are down 20% in pre-market trade. But then it's been great speaking to you, tech analyst Okpeyemi Aromi. Thank you for talking to us on World Now.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
Now